breaking the fourth wall.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio post-show rewind for Raw for June the 24th, 2024. I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, here as always with the Raw crew. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves to the good folks watching at home and around the world.
You first.
You're muted, CJ.
Light wasn't flat. Anyways, yes. CJ Carter at CJ Carter 22 on Twitter. Lots to talk about tonight. Looking forward to getting started.
And as always, I am Caesar, hanging out with these two gentlemen and the one behind the scenes known as John, discussing that thing we love to talk about called Monday Night Rollins.
Apparently we're going to be turning it down this evening. All right, gentlemen, before we get rolling into the show tonight, I want to, as always, give a shout out to our partner on the web, comicbookclick.com. comicbookclick.com/dirtsheetradio for all your pop culture, comic book, and professional wrestling needs, live updates, articles, and lots of fun. Go over there, make it your homepage, check it multiple times a day, just like we do, not because we're legally obligated to do so, but because we love it. Hey, and while you're at comicbookclick.com, check out our newest sponsor there. We have sponsored up with NordVPN. Head over there to comicbookclick.com and get yourself 72% off your first month. You did not hear that incorrectly, folks. 72% off. You know, what an odd number to still be even. But yeah, NordVPN, our newest sponsor. So big shout out to them. Head over to comicbookclick.com, get you that discount, and start getting NordVPN. But gentlemen, we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw, and we're here to talk about tonight's main event first, as we typically do. Tonight's main event saw the Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor taking on the Awesome Truth for the Raw Tag Team titles. And I think this went the way a lot of folks thought it might go, just based off of how we got here. We'll discuss how we got to the match throughout the night. But we had a title change tonight. The Judgment Day have now captured the tag team titles once again. Gentlemen, what did you think of this match tonight? The outcome, the story surrounding Liv and Dom going into it. There is a lot to dissect here. Braun Strowman ran like a goddamn Hanna-Barbera character again. Gentlemen, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a good match. Like you said, it was a very predictable, foreseeable result. I had it penciled into my notes earlier when R-Truth was on TV, but these guys are going to have custom side plates by next week. That is a fact, and I hate the fact that Truth and Miz never got them, but that's the last I will say on it, unless Judgment Day doesn't show up with custom plates next week. But we'll burn that bridge when we get there. The match itself was good. I thought that was not quite the involvement I thought we were going to get from Liv Morgan. I thought it was going to be more subtle, you know, like we've seen a sort of strategist in Liv Morgan. This whole revenge tour has been very calculated. So her getting up on the apron to have a played out sort of turn on Truth, it felt off to me. I don't know if that's if I'm even explaining that accurately, but or in the best way. But the match itself, like I said, great match. Congrats to the new champs, and I'm looking forward to seeing some Judgment Day that's not focused on Dominic and Liv. Like I'll always love to see the World Heavyweight Champion involved, but let's focus on Finn and JD for a bit.
Now, with what happened here tonight, with the Judgment Day winning the tag titles, and we'll talk about this, but Liv set that match up for them. That was something she did to get in Dom's good graces, but also to get in the good graces of the Judgment Day. She also set up for next week a match between Rey Mysterio and Dirty Dom himself, or Daddy Dom, but I really don't want to have to say that more than once, but there I did it. But she set all this up. Now, I kind of felt tonight that Liv's revenge tour has expanded. Maybe this was the plan the whole time, but at this point, are we safe to assume that she's not just going after Dom? She's going after the Judgment Day as a whole, not necessarily in a romantic sense, but she's taking the entire group with her. There's not going to be a Judgment Day to come back to for Rhea Ripley at this point. She's responsible for them having the tag titles. As it stands right now, they have the tag titles and the World Heavyweight Championship under their control. Judgment Day actually is running Raw right now, as opposed to just them saying it week after week.
Is Liv Morgan better for Judgment Day than Damian Priest right now? Because I feel like she is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
No.
Not like in a I don't mean like in real life. I mean like in a kayfabe sense. She has done.
Yeah. So in a kayfabe sense, in the kayfabe sense, she is trying to destroy the group from the inside. That's the whole reason why she was doing what she was doing tonight. So yeah, in a kayfabe sense, Liv is going to be the worst thing to happen to the Judgment Day.
Evil succubus.
Exactly.
As Jim Ross would have said once upon a time, Jezebel. What do you think, Molly?
I also missed Pat on the mic tonight, and I get why they did it. Like they alluded to it, but I don't think they showed the actual footage from.
They didn't show
Pat's
this clip with Triple H.
Yeah.
Yes, CJ, for the folks at home that maybe also did not see that, you want to fill them in on that as to what happened on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah, so basically we're just getting ready to wrap up their edition of the Pat McAfee show. I think it was that Saturday or Friday?
It's happened twice. It happened Saturday and today.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they both times ended with similar editing graphics for the Wyatt 6 that we've seen. And so it was very much implied that Pat was taken out by the Wyatt 6, and that's why he wasn't able to show up for work today. So I get why they want to send someone out to replace him, but The Miz felt like an odd choice, especially since he was just going to end up bailing halfway through the show once Truth got him booked into a match, and then not replaced with anybody. Like, Michael Cole is good enough to call the rest of the show, but I don't know if it feels like they could have handled it better.
I wanted to say two things about commentary. One, I actually really liked The Miz on commentary. I was like, wait, did we just find like his second career? What the fuck? Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to look back on this as the night, like at the beginning of his announcer's career. But that's a thought that we'll talk about later on. I wanted to give mega props to Michael Cole, because that second half that he did call by himself, I don't know if that was like just meant to be like a treat or like a gift or I don't know what, but he was on fire. He was excellent. I was like, can this just be Raw? Like, can we just leave it like this? Like Joey Styles and Michael Cole can just call it. He was killing it. No interruptions from a fucking asshole heel or Pat McAfee or, like he was just killing it. He was actually calling wrestling moves. I was like, this is excellent. I love this.
For years and years, I thought I hated Michael Cole. I thought that just Michael Cole was, a corporate shill, and he was just a horrid commentator. And then as soon as you pulled VKM out of his headset, he's phenomenal. I think at this point, I feel really terrible that I treated him so badly for all these years, because at this point, I think Michael Cole might be one of the greatest commentators of all time.
Yeah.
Like, he's inching closer to Jim Ross in my mind. Jim Ross in his prime, in my mind. I want to point that out. There's a difference between, no offense, Jim, but not the same guy.
I like ornery asshole Jim Ross. He was funny as hell. He was like, what is this shit?
I'm
like, Jim, we got to put the angle over. Like, no, this is garbage. Jim, please.
Shut up, Excalibur. Why do they call it Diet Pepsi Max? There's nothing Max about it. It's a diet beverage, god damn it.
That's legitimately every single angle too. I miss him.
Okay, so just before we move on, Michael Cole's Yoko Ono reference to close the show.
Oh my god.
I respect it, but at the same time, you're trying to appeal to a demographic that I doubt any one of them knows who Yoko Ono is.
They're Googling it, and now they're hearing her scream, and I feel bad for children.
He jumped the gun on the Beatles cinematic universe hype. 2 years too soon.
Lennon.
Oh
Well,
man,
and
is
if
there gonna
that-
be like a fake death conspiracy about like JD McDonough? Or is the Judgment Day just gonna be the Beatles now? Oh, this
No,
is
the Beatles
also
were
fun.
talented.
Oh, I'm writing some fan fiction tonight, fellas.
The Beatles were talented.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if Yoko is Liv, does that make Dominic Mysterio John Lennon?
No,
Yeah,
because they actually dated.
I hate to burst this bubble before we even
No,
get it
I'm
going.
done.
Could
Go off the show.
you
No, no, no,
imagine?
no, no,
Could
no,
you
done,
just
done,
imagine?
no. We're over here comparing Dirty Dom Mysterio to arguably one of the most talented singer-songwriters in the history of rock music.
And Judgment Day has an Abbey Road photo too, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, they
you
do. They
absolutely
do.
know
Fuck.
if they're gonna do the video package where each one fades away one by one. You fucking know they are, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Dom and Liv go remake it or something like that.
That's so good.
This is fantastic. This is good. Honestly, this whole Liv thing has breathed some new life into the Judgment Day angle. But gentlemen, before we hop around to the star of the show, anything else on tonight's main event? The title change, Braun Strowman running like a cartoon character.
I will say.
Sorry, go ahead, Caesar.
I will say I thought it was going to end a different way. Like I figured it was going to be Judgment Day winning, but I thought it was going to be like a different way because it felt like it was just like, oh, Liv screwed over Truth. Truth got screwed, fell down after getting booted into the corner. Blah blah blah. It felt like they were just like, quick, hurry up, let's finish it. That's what it felt like at the end. But what happened. Maybe they'll get side plates next week.
Definitely.
They're gonna show like just a special recap of Raw tomorrow during NXT, and they'll show the Judgment Day side plates during NXT tomorrow. So
Check
and
that right now.
Yeah, like they're gonna post on their socials sometime tomorrow afternoon of the side plates getting put on.
Twitter exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
I wanted to say Braun Strowman running the way he did today was a direct response to Tyler's criticism of him running like a big goofus while Braun Strowman works in his company. Braun almost fell down that ramp for you tonight, Tyler.
yeah. Well,
happy.
he looks like a bullfrog stood up and put on skinny jeans. So
You made those
Nobody
little
wants
knees.
that.
You made those little knees work, Tyler.
He's in the back right now, suffering because of you.
you're right. He's icing them both down because of me. I'm sorry, Braun. I'm sorry. Just stop
No, you're
running. You
not.
don't need to run. You're a big guy.
You're
you
not
need to run
sorry.
up
You're a
the
monster.
Back.
Am I the monster
Come
among
on.
men? Have I become the monster among men?
You scare me more than him.
if we're talking about me and Caesar are the men and you're the monster, then yeah, that analogy works.
Whoa, guys! Super side note. You guys know the band Tool?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
The guitarist in the band dressed up as Pentagon Jr. during one of their
Oh.
shows.
Cool.
I just came across it and I thought I'd throw that out there. Wrong show, but who cares?
That's actually, before we hop around, that is something, from a kayfabe standpoint, they're obviously not going to be signed to a brand.
No, they're signed.
They're
Not
just going to
signed.
show up, but
Are they Joe Henry?
we'll talk about that a little
Shit.
bit.
Call the police. Stop asking where they're gonna sign to and get some damn police in here. This is horrifying. Woo!
Even boxes, but we'll talk about that. But gentlemen, let's hop around to the beginning of tonight's program.
I prefer
Monday
to walk.
Night Oh, well, okay, all right. You don't have. I'm going to
We're
do
on a
a.
time crunch here, Caesar. We don't have time to walk.
I love
We will-
Captain Crunch.
We will skip to my Lou.
There we go.
Damn it! Yeah. All right. So tonight's Monday Night Raw came to us from Indianapolis, Indiana. From the I completely forgot the name of the
You don't know the name?
Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Gainbridge Fieldhouse tonight. So the show opened, and as Michael Cole and The Miz were starting to recap the end of last week's Raw, Cole seemed distracted and looked by. Drew McIntyre made his way to the ring as the Raw music was still playing, which I really dug. Added a layer of realism and just, again, unhinged anger from Drew McIntyre. And so Drew made his way into the ring and cut a Drew McIntyre scathing promo. The kind of promo where you are on his side until he says one dastardly thing. Everything he said made sense up until the bracelet. You do not insult a man's dog.
Yeah.
That is the most heelish thing. Larry is a national. You know what? No. Larry is an international treasure. Larry is a worldwide treasure.
He is a
He's
treasure.
already been through so much.
He's CM Punk's dog. That's a start.
But yeah, he's witnessed so much violence in his
And
his
he's the
little
only
life.
one not bound by an NDA.
Oh shit!
Are we sure about that?
I mean, as far as we know.
Yeah. Oh.
So they need to invent that technology where humans can talk to dogs, like ASAP.
Technically have that already. I thought. I've seen it.
I don't know if it works, but Larry did get a chant tonight. There was a Larry chant during them. But gentlemen, what did you think of this promo? Were you, like myself, on board with Drew tonight up until taking cheap shots at an adorable dog with a sweet underbite?
Honestly, I'm not surprised Drew did what he's doing. Yeah, I know he's super angry about everything with the whole CM Punk losing the championship, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, as for the dog part, who cares? That shouldn't even be part of the promo. It should just be him being an asshole like he always is. Also, he didn't do his usual thing where he's like, stop staring at me, or whatever he does. He didn't win. I don't know that. Yeah, he didn't have any of that tonight. Just the usual shit.
We're serious. And he did say that he was going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He did say that.
That's what kind of throws me is because he's saying he's in it. Does that mean one of us can jump in too?
No,
Like,
and
does
there
CJ go in too?
We'll kind of do a little time hop here. He did have a verbal altercation with Adam Pearce later in the night regarding the Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. Regarding that, and Pierce basically told him that you have to earn the spot. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you just get; everyone else has to. And so, presumably, next week we'll have the final Raw triple threats for the spots. But
it's Ilya Dragunov and who's the other guy?
Oh my god, I forget. I remember
it is Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov. An incredible lineup because the WrestleMania one is Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Gunther. So this is awesome.
That'll be a banger, as it would be.
Banger.
After banger. So I want to point out, just because I love Seinfeld, as a lot of folks that watch us know, I make references. Drew McIntyre, George Costanza, this whole thing. He quit his job and then basically just said, "No, I didn't." Like, no, I didn't. Like, it's flat out. Like, this is what happened early in Seinfeld. But pretty solid promo as always by Drew. And again, I'm just angry that he insulted someone's dog. It's mean. It's unnecessary. But it was a good touch. It was something to actually make him seem dastardly and vile, which I think was important to do here. We've talked about this a little bit. We talked about it last week. CM Punk was really starting to come across as the heel. Like, he'd already given Drew McIntyre his comeuppance for what he had done to him. Like, he had already paid him back. That was it. It was over and done. And then he just pushed it further. You know, and he almost just took someone's shirt off of them in the process. There's some problematic things here. I don't know, guys.
I love seeing this, though. Like, Drew McIntyre and Braun Breaker are probably the two best examples right now of quality heel booking that is logical. Like, you can follow and almost empathize with them because, they were getting screwed. Like, Drew McIntyre getting cut off at the knees by CM Punk at every turn, and then Braun Breaker not getting the same opportunities as everybody else his first night out. Like, it's relatable. It's understandable. It's excellent storytelling.
Agreed. Now, speaking of Braun, we do have his match coming up here shortly. But before that, they showed Chad Gable arriving in the arena. A very distraught Chad Gable. As soon as he got out, with a bullet wound, as soon as he got out of his vehicle, he was immediately telling the cameras he's not doing this right now. And then he was swarmed by local security, and security walked him to his dressing room. But I like the way they handled that. I thought that, his mental state would be a bit
shaken,
fractured. Yeah, shaken. Off. Yeah, not stirred. Yeah. And he did a very good job with that. Chad Gable, I think, is capable of much deeper character work than a lot of people would have given him credit for about a year ago. He has risen above the shoosh at this point.
Thank God.
Yeah, agreed. But we did show before the match here, Kathy Kelly tried to get a word with Gable outside of his locker room, but he wasn't talking to anybody quite yet. Going into Breaker's match, we had Ludwig Kaiser backstage with Jackie Redmond in a quick interview there. Gentlemen, what did you think of this pre-match interview from Ludwig Kaiser?
Can I say something? We got to change Braun Breaker's name, man. This is fucked up. This is not even right. This isn't even Ludwig's fault. He calls him Braun Strowman. But there's like 18 people in this fucking company with the same name. Like,
so yeah, because we've got Braun Breaker, we've got Braun Strowman, and we've got Braun's son, who is not actually the son of either of the Brauns.
Are we sure of that?
We're not.
There was this meme that I saw. I'll send it in the group chat if I can find it. But it was like Ed and Eddie, but Braun and Bronson.
That's incredible.
That's great, actually.
But yes, this is like the perfect reason. Like, this is someone should take this to Triple H as the number one fucking thing we need to talk about at the talent meeting tomorrow. Change Braun Breaker's fucking name. He was gonna be Rex Steiner. We were so close to the coolest fucking name ever, and it's his real name.
like not since Richard Blood will there have been a bigger bungle of an actual name being used than Rex Steiner. I mean, or now hear me out. Or
hear him out.
Can just get rid of Braun Strowman.
Are we talking like rid of him?
He's gotta eat. He's gotta eat. He can do something. He can do what the Big Show was doing.
Doesn't he own that vodka company? Isn't that his vodka? Like,
I thought does he have? Did people buy that? Is it like Terramana?
What?
I'm saying, we've got a Braun that can run, and so. One of these days, I'm going to run afoul of one of the wrestlers that I've talked relentless shit about, and it's not going to be good for me.
Of anybody, you decide to go after Braun Strowman?
I don't. Oh, the wrestlers that I've picked fights with over the years. Let's see. Braun Strowman's on that list there. Karrion Kross definitely makes their list.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite.
Ivar, but not because of him, because of the gimmick. Yep. I once almost jumped a guardrail at Eddie Kingston and then thought better of it because he would have absolutely murdered me. Love you, Eddie.
That
but
match is on
he
pay-per-view.
called Scarlett a ring rat, and that was just fucked up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wasn't happy
Not
about
great.
it. Oh, Ring of Honor memories. But back to Raw tonight. We had Braun Breaker, unpredictable, badass, as Michael Cole says, taking on Ludwig Kaiser. This ended in a no contest. I had to urinate. Past tense. That was unpredictable and badass.
Like Braun Breaker.
Just like Braun. But yeah, ended in a no contest just around the 10-minute mark when Sheamus came in and knocked the shit out of Kaiser. Guys, what'd you think of this match? The match itself, where this is leading. It sounds like Ludwig Kaiser may have gotten hurt in that powerbomb spot there, which was a spectacular looking spot, but dangerous and possibly hurt the man. But what do you think of the match? What it's leading towards and what it could mean for the future.
Well, hopefully Kaiser's not injured, whatever comes of this. I think that Braun Breaker as a heel doesn't work right now. The fans are too quick to be on board with his push. He works good as a face. Like, even his team with Baron Corbin, like, it was entertaining for sure, even though they kind of started as, butting head heels. Like, they flipped it around and they became entertaining. Like, Tyler, you and I have both talked ad nauseum about how much we enjoy Baron Corbin in an NXT.
Yeah.
And Braun Breaker is carrying that level of fan support with him from NXT. So having him go out and have these matches where he's getting cheered, everything he does is so impressive. He will be a dominant heel one day, but right now the fans really just they're kind of pushing him to success the same way they did for LA Knight. At one point, it just became undeniable. They had to turn him and push him to the moon, and that, I think, is what we're seeing with Braun Breaker.
Yeah, he's definitely getting, organic babyface reactions. And that just speaks to, people like to cheer a badass. People like to cheer tough, hard-hitting badass dudes. You've seen it over and over and over in wrestling. It's happened, 100 times. And that's what he is. He's unstoppable. He's brash. He gets in the face of management. There's a little bit of that,
Oh, there we go.
Oh, man.
I can't remember where I found that from, so unfortunately, if you know where it came from, we'll throw it in the credits or the comments, and we'll make sure we throw credit up. But I laughed so hard when I saw that; it was so good.
That's the kind of meme that it makes me angry that I didn't think of it. That's good. That one's quality right there. But yeah, the match itself was good till the no contest. But CJ, I agree, man. Breaker right now, he's more positioned to be a face. People are cheering him anyway. They could get him some better music.
The music, honestly, isn't the worst part of this for me. Granted, it's a step down from his NXT music, but I think the biggest thing is just his alignment. Like, yeah, be a beast, but you can still be a face. And, I get if they are planning to have Braun Breaker take the title off Sammy, then yeah, you wouldn't want a face doing that. And I think he is going to make the most of the Intercontinental the title if he does beat Sami Zayn for it. I think he's going to go on a solid run, but I don't know. Like, it's just not working for me the same way that it would if he were a good guy.
I'll say this in regard to Braun, okay? His theme was like the first little bit when he showed up sucked. The one they have right now with him, tolerable. Nothing is as bad as Shayna's theme, okay? That thing is just terrible. And if he does, it moves as fast as she does. But if you're gonna put the belt on,
fuck, man!
Talk about picking fights with people.
I'll fight her.
Jesus.
You guys would come watch me get fight her, wouldn't you?
I'll
Okay,
fight Braun Strowman. I fight fucking Shayna Baszler because I
Yeah.
think if I kick Braun Strowman in the knee, I can get away. I can't beat Shayna Baszler any way I cut it.
Well, whatever. I'll just count it as a date.
I'm just gonna like slink into the darkness here.
No, but what I was gonna say is like, let's just say Braun gets the belt coming up soon. They should give him a pyro when he comes out, because there's like a part of the song I've heard that I would fit a pyro. If he's champion, give it to him. And like CJ was saying, he can be an asshole, but still be like liked by the crowd. Because you hear those people barking and like screaming whenever he comes out. It's not quiet.
And there might be a small element of, I don't know what else to call it, the Pat McAfee effect, because like Pat does it. When Pat gets into shit, it seems to get over pretty quickly with the general audience.
You're not wrong on that one, actually.
Like, and you know, he was yeeting before it was cool. And well, I mean,
doing the air guitar for Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, like so he's very, and I think that's one of the reasons they like him at the booth is that he does bring not just like an everyman or every fan kind of perspective. He's very interactive with the stuff, and I think him barking definitely would have helped with that. But yeah, just he's got just badass baby face on everyone else. And CJ, like you said, when he was down in NXT still with Corbin, they were heels technically as that team, but they were just so entertaining and so much fun that you wanted to cheer for them and you wanted to see them succeed. And I don't know. And again, just the sheer fact that they made you and I both like Baron Corbin.
That's pretty good, actually.
We thought was impossible,
but now is very possible.
Yeah.
Let's see if NXT can do the same thing for. Oh God, I am blanking on his name right now. You know who I'm thinking of, because there's.
Oh, we know who you're thinking of.
Ridge?
With Chase U right now, like the
Ridge?
Yeah, Ridge
Oh,
Holland.
Yeah.
He's still down there?
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's in Chase U now, man. He's in Chase U.
Detention at least. That's where I'd put him.
Jesus Christ, man! Caesar's just throwing bombs tonight.
Yeah, I'm in that kind of mood, I guess.
Chase U, the institution of NXT where people come to learn. Speaking of learning how to do things, the NXT stars learn their craft through NXT Level Up. And we are beginning CJ and Tyler's NXT Level Up adventure this Sunday. We are still very excited for it. I know I can speak for Tyler because we're always trading ideas about it. So very excited to finally be starting off our Level Up adventure this Sunday.
Looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun, guys.
Sunday.
Bright, colorful, positive. It's gonna be a fun time. We hope you will join us. But hey,
But we'll walk to get there.
A few months.
I had to connect a few dots, but we made it.
We got it. We'll get there, guys. But back to the Monday Night Raw this evening. Backstage in the ever-expanding Judgment Day clubhouse.
With a door.
With a door. Finn Balor
and a roof.
kind of playing video games. A giant platter of chicky nuggies out there. And text message sent from one Liv Morgan to Dom Mysterio. I imagine it's a bowl of ramen, right? That's what they said. Someone told me she was sending nudes, so I assume this was ramen or like
more like macaroni.
I hate this. I'm just trying to figure out what to say.
I also hate everything about this. Especially Tyler dancing. Even Molly's looking at him like, what the hell are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
so Liv Morgan is showering.
Is she a
Dirty
sugar
Dom
mommy now?
She's a sugar mama. She's a sugar mommy. There we go.
Yeah.
But showering Dom with gifts, chicken nuggets, video games. As we found out,
stuff on his phone.
Okay, but can we talk about how you probably should never do this if someone sends you nudes?
I was gonna mention that.
JD's face in the background.
So considering, yes, that one of the pieces of allegations that the former chief of WWE is facing is in fact
I
that.
didn't even think of that. Oh,
That is
God.
what he is in fact accused of doing. So yeah, not a good show. So that's why I'm saying I hope it wasn't actually something to elicit. Maybe just one of those cute videos of like a lion cub cuddling with like a rabbit or something, right? Like, what's up?
Sure,
We're
something like that.
No, we're already halfway to Netflix right now with stuff that's going on Raw.
Netflix and chill.
Who wouldn't talk to?
Oh, have you seen the meme about that? She's doing
Oh
it.
yeah, see, that was fucking great.
Oh man, I saw that. I can't claim credit
Oh.
for it. I saw a meme on Facebook, but it was I had thought I got sick of seeing those memes over the last 2 days, and that one was just like the cherry on top. It was perfect.
Did you see that someone did that Hawk 2 girl with Darude Sandstorm?
Oh no,
It's terrible. Let's just go with that.
All right.
I mean, I have
Back to wrestling.
We're gonna Hawk 2 back to the show here. We're gonna go from Hawk 2 to Hawk 2. But
I'm going home.
you are.
That's not a sentence I ever want to hear mentioned on this or any future stream again.
Please don't tell Hawk 2 I said that, because of all the people in wrestling that I don't want to be on the wrong side of, Hawk 2 is number one on that list. He bit a
CJ.
man's nose off in an airport once.
I'll get the chairs. You get some Tim Hortons, and we'll watch this fight happen.
All right, sounds good.
What a
I
nice
still get Tyler.
Speaking of unmatched aggression, the camera followed Braun Breaker backstage as he beat on Adam Pearce's door. Adam Pearce told him to calm down, because that'll do it. That's always helpful. Calm down. Yeah, all right, sure. But Breaker said that he is sick and tired of people getting into his business, that he's just trying to basically get to there. Point of this is that it led to a match being officially made of Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker at Money in the Bank. Gentlemen, do you think this is, we just really kind of discussed this a bit, but do you think this is Breaker's moment? Do you think Breaker walks away with the title?
Yes? Maybe?
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm not against it. I'm just trying to figure out how to put the words together in my mouth right now. Trying to
He is
Noggin.
so tan.
I look at this and I go, Cena versus Lesnar from SummerSlam in, what was that, 2014?
back in the day.
One where he just absolutely
Yes.
demolished Cena in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
Was
they
supposed to be
won,
Bryan, that would
if
have
the-
that wouldn't have been as effective.
right. And if they wanted to do just an absolute commit to the monster heel version of Braun Breaker, then I think that's the perfect opportunity for it. If they do end up kind of deciding that they want to keep him either not quite that heelish in case they want to turn him face later on, then I think that we might see a little bit more even of a match at Money in the Bank. But I do see either way. I think Braun Breaker is going to win the title.
Yep. Agreed.
Oh, in
All right.
Canada too? Can you imagine the heat that Braun Breaker is going to get?
Oh, that'll get him back to heel, at least in Canada.
So
right?
they should do it then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
Oh,
Sammy, it feels like exactly, Mac. That is exactly what I was about to say. Sammy can't seem to get a real good win in Canada. I think the closest thing was defending the title against Chad Gable, but wasn't that the night that Gable turned on him?
Yes, it was. Yeah, because he suplexed him away from his wife's loving arms. It was
Oh my god, I remember that.
brutal.
But like they were in Canada for that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he walked over, started hugging her and shit, and then Gable had a hissy fit, walked over, and then you just see him like, whoo.
Yeah, because that was the night that they did that really cool entrance where like he was outside the venue and like Jey Uso walked up to him,
and he's like,
"That's the one." Yeah,
it was cool. That was it.
And they had the camera angle going through the arena, him freaking out with the fans, and then go into the arena.
Right.
Brains. Speaking of brains,
our next match on the card this evening was a triple threat to determine the next entrant into the women's Money in the Bank match. We had Lyra Valkyria taking on Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Lyra Valkyria picks up the win here in just about 9 minutes to slate her way into that ladder match. Gentlemen, I think personally the right woman won this match, and I absolutely love the the finishing moments of this match. That last 5-10 second combination they did was a fantastic finish. I thought it was executed very well. But I will step back, gentlemen. What did you think of this triple threat tonight?
Caesar started off, yeah.
So far, I'm 100% agreeing. I was glad that Lyra actually won. I was sitting there going, if they put it on Shayna, how would it go? And if they put it on Kairi, how would it go? And I thought, if they put it on Kairi, then she would just have her and Io team up in the match and then have a breakdown at the end. But Lyra is picking up a lot of steam as the fan favorite now, and her theme, where everyone goes oh, and all that stuff, and everyone's going for it. So it's the woman who deserved it got it, and in a timely manner too. Not a long 30-minute match. It was was it a 10-minute match or something?
Yeah, it's right around 9ish.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Has Kairi Sane had that theme for very long?
I know she had a theme.
I actually have that in my notes that I didn't know if I'd heard this or not.
Yeah, there's a pirate theme or some shit.
Well, she had the Kabuki Warrior one that she was using with Asuka before Asuka went down with injury. And this one definitely had Pirates of the Caribbean knockoff sort of vibes to it. And I'm because I saw the little wheel with KS
such good shit
in the graphic, and yeah, also true. But no, the match itself was good. I love seeing Lyra getting the support that, frankly, she deserves. She was an NXT star through and through. She had a lot of fans in the NXT crowd, so I'm glad that she's getting so much immediate love from the Raw crowd too.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I say often that I feel a little biased when it comes to roster members like Lyra Valkyria, just because of our love of NXT runs deep. So I'm very, very happy to see that she's being put in a prominent role here, and they're not catapulting her too fast too soon. I think they're giving her a good build, consistent wins on television. And, get that, organic groundswell. And, Caesar, like you said, the crowd is starting to do the whoos in between the beats of the song, which is fun. I do them in my home here.
In certain places, they get loud. In certain places, it's a little murmur.
Yeah. And that's true of a lot of, wrestling crowd-related things. Some, audiences just aren't as hot as others. But gentlemen, anything else on this triple threat match?
The right woman won. That's the easiest way of explaining it.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we will cut backstage then. As we said earlier, Drew McIntyre did track down Pierce, stating, and arguing with him about being in Money in the Bank. And it's, I said this was obviously leading to the last match that Raw will have for the men's Money in the Bank qualifiers next week. But as Drew was angrily walking away, stomping away, the camera panned to Liv Morgan walking his opposite direction.
That was a cool thing.
Yep. So she got the long, single shot walk out this evening.
You know why,
which was
right?
Cool. Because Hakutua?
I was gonna say the cameraman was practicing camera angles.
So she makes her way out to the ring wearing a Daddy's Girl shirt that seems to be kind of ensconced into her gimmick now. So she goes to the ring, starts talking about Dominic, says she, came out here to get his attention.
She hears DSR's
track
on.
him down backstage. Yeah, that's what she's looking for.
We have a change room.
We talked a little bit about, we're moving towards this Netflix era of Raw and how things will be a little bit different. And this is one of those promos where you kind of get that feeling a little bit. Selena Vega is the first to answer the call.
This was hilarious.
And she calls Dom sloppy seconds, and she says that Liv is too busy chasing that dirty D while she's chasing the WWE Women's Championship. I cannot believe that this was said on Monday Night Raw.
Gotti. I was so excited to hear this. And honestly, it was actually cool hearing Zelina cut a promo. It was a first.
She was great on the mic tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen some of her like little YouTube show she has with Dakota Kai, and I've heard her talk like as like having fun. But to hear her being a real bitch, like in like a positive way, it was cool. So props to her for actually being like, tough, we'll call it.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Chasing Dirty D. Yeah, and Liv did also call him Daddy Dom during this. Let Daddy Dom talk. I'm not comfortable with a lot of this, really. I'm very uncomfortable.
She was going to give him a gift on live TV. I wonder what kind of gift she was going to give him.
Obviously, a stuffed animal. Obviously.
Maybe money.
This is escalating to a live sex celebration.
Maybe that hooked to him.
It really is.
Oh, man, on the first Raw. That's perfect.
Start the New Year's with a bang.
Set your DVR.
Oh, Lord, no!
Set your
banger.
DVR.
After banger. After banger.
Set your DVR, boys.
Oh my god! But Zelina continued to run Liv down, saying that she's more concerned with having a good time and having fun than being a serious competitor. So in their argument, as things got more heated, Dom did make his way out to the ring, and Liv was so excited to ask Dom if he liked the gifts, and God, then the crowd chanted sloppy seconds here. This was a pretty wild segment from start to finish. Harkened back to the days of Jerry Springer.
Well, definitely Jerry Springer vibes. As much as I think Dom is getting better on the mic, though, I think he just needs to start pushing through crowd booing him more.
You can't hear him anyways.
Yeah, but I think at least if he puts some volume behind it, if he's he can still lean into it without kind of waiting ad nauseum for people to stop, because they are just gonna start screaming again anyways. Do it a couple times, but then just you got to barrel through the rest of the way.
Agreed. All right, but so as Dom's out there, and it's that picture. Rey Mysterio makes his way to the ring. I loved after Rey pulled Zelina off of Liv, the shot of Rey getting shoved by Dom. It was just so unnecessary and so gratuitous. And Dom just looked so damn pleased with himself after.
The thing that I noticed right away was Rey and Zelina looked surprised. Why would they be surprised? Of course Dom is going to attack his dad. Have you not watched
where have you been?
2 years worth of relationship drama between them? It boggles my mind when
Springer.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like sequential storytelling,
Right.
Yeah. Obviously, it leads to their one-on-one match next week, and yeah, am I looking forward to see it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be chock full of Liv Morgan related shenanigans. But as Dom booked it out there, Liv left with him as he went back.
Stockholm syndrome.
Clap, 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 clap.
Sorry. Wrong chant. Sloppy seconds.
Oh, Jesus. Backstage, Kathy Kelly was outside of Gable's locker room still. And she said that Pierce and medical staff were checking up on Chad Gable before his match tonight. As Pierce walked out, she asked for an update. And Pierce said that he was understandably shaken up, but he's medically cleared to compete tonight. And she asked him if he could give any details as to the attack from the week before. And he said that's not really his story to tell. And he's not sure that Chad is quite ready to tell it yet. I'm sure that Chad Gable's PTSD will be a continuing angle as part of this story, because he's definitely freaked out. But still backstage, Liv caught back up with Dom and thanked him for being the hero that she needed. And he's like, look, I didn't do it for you. I hate my dad. He's a deadbeat. Which was the best way. Like, I chortled when he said that. The timing on it was absolutely perfect. He's a deadbeat. I hate him. But yeah, as she tried to hug him, he fully pulled away, like, trying to brush a dog's teeth or something. Like, he was not happy. He's doing his best to resist the wiles of Liv Morgan. After he left, she was approached by R-Truth. And this is when she sweet-talked her way into getting the Judgment Day a tag title shot. R-Truth said he loves when love is in the air, and he's doing it all for love. And he said that he always loved Carmella.
Yes! That's what I was just going to say. It's as weird as this was, I actually enjoyed the stupidity of those two going on.
The Miz running to stop R-Truth from making the title match happen.
I really think that was the funniest thing ever with those two. But yeah, it did its thing. It filled up the time. And then the Miz started sprinting to the back room because for some reason he was out front doing commentary. And then, he just went, shit.
It feels like they did that they had Miz out there solely in order to have the Miz run to the back when this match got made. Why not just have Miz come by 30 seconds after he talks to Pierce? He didn't need to be on commentary for that. But, whatever.
Also,
like we said, Michael Cole got to shine calling commentary by himself. So if ever a silver lining, it's that.
And as I said earlier, I thought The Miz did a fantastic job on commentary this evening. And I think that, when the day comes that he steps back from in-ring competition, I think it's absolutely something that he could look into and possibly do as a second career in professional wrestling.
He absolutely did a tremendous job for sure.
And I think a large part of that is just everyone that knows the Miz's story, he's a fan. Before anything else, he's a fan. And I think people that start as fans make the best commentators. They understand the product. They love it. They're invested in it. Look, Pat McAfee can be kind of a jackass, but he's a good commentator in the regards of he's invested in the product. Now, when he first came back, he didn't have a clue what was going on anywhere. But now he knows. And he might be in a hole somewhere due to the Wyatt Six, but we'll find out.
We'll see who's hosting the Pat McAfee show tomorrow.
Right?
It'll be DSR.
It's our show now. We're taking over.
What time?
But back in ring, we had Braun Strowman taking on Big Bronson Reed.
I hate calling him
taking
that.
on Chad Gable in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Chad Gable picks up the win in 8 minutes through his paranoia and upset attitude. He picks up the win here. He is unkillable. I thought he was going to shout, "I cannot die," like a la Matt Hardy used to.
I got a nice question for you guys about this whole situation. Specifically, Gable. Do you think he's being thrown in as the main target as an attempt to turn him face? Everyone care about him?
No, I don't think
No?
so, and we'll get into the segment a little bit later. But the fact that the Academy is kind of turned on him, I think that's the closing the door on that. And if they're going to move on to something else, or if they're still going to keep Chad Gable tied to them through this Wyatt feud, then we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I think as far as what he's doing with Uncle Howdy, we'll just have to wait and see.
And that being said, so after the conclusion of the match, we did have our Wyatt 6 spookiness, one of our Wyatt 6 segments of this evening. The ring was filled with a dense fog, and outcrawled Abby, spooked him out. He ran away, and then she gave a unmarked, poorly closed box to Michael Cole.
It was drugs.
I swear to God, I thought it was going to be Pat McAfee's head, but I'm like,
I was expecting a finger or a toe or something.
I thought something was going to explode in his face. That's what I thought originally.
Gosh, we all had very different feelings about how this is going to go.
And then,
but as it turned out, it was a VHS.
I love how he's like, hey, so I know to some of you don't know what this is. This is a VHS tape.
I guarantee there are people watching Raw that have never seen a VHS tape.
That kid right there to the left. Look at him. He's like,
that Sting shirt was really shocked about the whole situation.
That's a huge Sting shirt. Holy shit.
The guy on the other side just looking so perplexed at that tape. Like, what the fuck is that?
This?
Do you even have a VCR to play that thing?
We gotta find one.
They had to find one. And they did, and we will talk about that in just a little bit. But backstage, as said, Gable found Otis and the Alpha Academy locker room and said that he was just so glad to see him. And he apologized. And, I don't know that I thought this was a heel apology. It felt relatively sincere.
He's scared.
He is scared. He is scared. And for that reason, it probably wasn't wholly sincere. But Maxxine said that she would talk to Otis and try to continue to smooth things over. But as she turned and went back in, he was approached by Ivy Nile of the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this, man. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Like, it's just enough to plant the seed. And this is another reason why I think that Chad is going to stay a heel, because they've been kind of hinting at this. Now we're finally getting it started. So this may lead to a 6-person tag between the Wyatt 6 and the new Alpha Academy at some point. But I do think they're gonna keep Chad as a heel.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this teaming of the Creed brothers with Chad. We've been looking forward to this since they actually had them in that training montage together a month and a half ago at this point. Really, really looking forward to that.
Ooh.
All right, so up next, I think we have actually 2 more matches to talk about tonight. I forgot about one of them. But we had the women's tag team title match. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn taking on Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Fire and Dawn retain in just about 5 minutes. Decent match. No real drama here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a non-title match. We knew what we were expecting. Damage Control came out at the end and attacked both teams. The change that EO seems to want is just Damage Control getting gold back. So, I mean, and she's going for Money in the Bank. So, but it feels like they're still just treading the same water that they've been treading for basically since WrestleMania.
Right.
Like they need something new, and it's just not working, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of the same old heel rhetoric. It's like, it's similar to the rhetoric that the Judgment Day has said from time to time. Where it's like, oh, we got to show them who we are, remind them who we are.
Acknowledge me.
Aggression. Yeah, it's just like it is kind of the same old shtick over and over there, but. They are just kind of treading water, but hopefully they'll kind of find their footing here on Raw. I was hoping that the move to Raw for them would kind of, give them fresh opponents to work with, but we'll see what they do with them going forward. But
is it still a weird choice to have the titles on Fire and Dawn? Because, I mean, we've sat with it now since Clash, and does it feel like they still are an odd choice? Or has it kind of settled in now, and you're like, okay, I can get behind it? Like, was this match, did that move the needle for you?
Not particularly, but, I mean, there's just not a lot going on in that tag title picture right now.
Here's a couple of girls. Here's a couple of girls. Here's a match.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Like I said, I would have really preferred, Baszler and Stark. Honestly, like of the tag pairings in the women's division, they're one of my favorite. I think they work well together. I think they have, a tag team look without trying too hard to have a tag team look. But yeah, I don't know. It really kind of did feel like this was, the, feel good moment for the home crowd in Scotland. And we didn't look for them to hold the belts very long, and they still might not hold them very long. This could be a short-lived reign for them still.
Well, because who's coming out of this? Who do you think's going to challenge? Is it going to be Io and Kyrie, or Io and Dakota?
Yes. They'll try and pull the Freebird rule.
We call it the catch clause now.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's a catch clause. Thank you. No quarter catch crew and wild-eyed Charlie Dempsey. I really don't know. I'm trying to think of who. I mean, Dakota, how healthy is she right now? Is she like good to go, or is it still kind of take it easy on it?
How many one-on-one matches has she had since she's been back?
One that I can think of?
Yeah, one that I can think of.
Okay, so she might not be quite ready yet. I don't know if that's, but if that's the case, slating her into tag matches, if you're going to have her working matches, would be the smarter thing to do, just, in terms of.
Just to give her a little bit more time.
Exactly. But back for our our obligatory fourth Judgment Day segment of the night. Priest walked up to the door of the Judgment Day clubhouse, and out walked Liv eating a chicken nugget.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Man, I hope Dom ended things." And he walks in, and there is Balor playing.
Don't forget, he looks shocked when he saw Damien walk in.
Did.
Yeah, see. That's a meme right there.
I'm just playing the game. But
one-on-one game.
Finn defended Liv here because he was like, "Look, she was just in here telling me, she got Dom the match against Ray next week. We've got a tag title match tonight. Look, it's not ideal, but I'll take anything I can get." Which I hope he just meant that in terms of the tag title match. But yeah, it's, like I said, like this at this point, it really does feel like strictly like Liv is taking Judgment Day. It's Judgment Livement Day.
Livement Day.
Judge Liv Day.
Judge Liv Day. Live and let judge.
Live and let live.
Judge and let live.
There we go. All right.
I'm done.
Oh.
We're on it anyways. It's
the
fine.
clock says like 3 hours. We're still going. John's like, guys, just stop already.
Stop. Oh God. All right.
Livement
So,
Day.
Judgment
Hashtag.
Day. All right. So, hashtag Livement Day. Damian Priest, our world champion, if you forgot he was world champion. By the way, when he walked into the clubhouse, he was like, "Oh, came back to get my belt." Because even I fucking forget I hold this thing sometimes.
No, it's not sometimes. It's all the time.
So he got his belt, but he went out to the ring to call out Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth came out. Seth came out dressed like Cruella DeVille.
There's definitely like at least a few Dalmatians in that coat. Maybe not 101, but there's definitely like 5 or 6.
Normally I'd make a joke right here, but I don't want to see it on stream. It's
fair enough.
Little untasteful.
But that great back and forth promo here between Seth Rollins and Damian Priest, and this added a little bit of spicy mustard to their match coming up at mustard. Money in the Bank. So now the stipulation is that if Seth Rollins does not beat Damian Priest, he will not receive a world title match as long as Priest holds that title. But if Seth Rollins beats Priest, then Priest has to forsake the Judgment Day and leave, and that's fine because it's Liv's group now anyway. So
yeah, it's Livement Day.
Which I mean,
Sorry,
go on. Somebody go on.
I was just going to ask: do we think that Seth beats Damian Priest at Money in the Bank?
I hope so. Honestly,
I don't think so. I think if Seth is healthy enough to come back, then he's got to have something meaningful lined up. Otherwise, why bring him back just to lose? Right. I don't think he's going to win, though, because I think it's critical for the Judgment Day to still have Priest keep the title. The stipulation of you have to leave the Judgment Day if you lose, I feel like it's not going to carry as much weight as the Judgment Day kicking him out. Mm-hmm. So I think especially if they want Priest versus like Priest to turn, which it kind of feels like the fans want him to, then he has to be kicked out of the Judgment Day, I think, in order for that to happen.
Did you guys think he got kind of... I felt like he like Seth Rollins was such a good promo, and Priest was not
as good.
Not even close.
He was like he was like drowning.
Okay,
I am the champion, Seth. And Seth
okay,
was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, but I am the champion, Seth.
Yeah, it's like I said, like I've not been blown away by Priest's run here, and you know, Max said it, I think, in the chat there as well. And I'm with that. I don't know that the SummerSlam match is Gunther and Priest.
So
I think it is because he's gonna fucking lose.
That would make sense then. So
wait, Priest or Gunther?
Look, Priest
lose.
You can beat him right now, and it wouldn't be a problem for anybody. Fans would be okay with it. Priest had a run. Like everybody's good. SummerSlam, WrestleMania to SummerSlam is a good run.
So
I wouldn't say he had a run. He maybe walked
a hop,
like strut.
And that's part of why I think that Seth had something else planned after his match with Priest, because it feels like they aren't going to bring him back just to beat Damian Priest and then lose to Gunther. Like that, they need to have something more substantial for him. I mean, that guy worked through a hellacious injury, unbearable pain that I can't even imagine. So for them to say, yeah, you're gonna come back and lose right away, but it's okay because we got something else for you.
So to kind of quote Tyler about me throwing blows tonight, I've thrown like 3, 2, 4? No, be honest, 4
ish. Yeah.
Oh, am I going for the Booker T title or what?
You are 5 times.
Okay, well then hold on to yourselves for a second. So with all due respect to like this whole World Heavyweight Championship thing, Damien's I'm not too much of a fan of. So bad I had a coffee during Raw. I was keeping up with everything. I was ready to go, ready to rock and roll. As a joke, I was like, okay, here comes Priest. I'm just gonna sit back and listen. I fell asleep. Not even kidding. I all of a sudden I heard like the burn it down scream, and my dumbass woke up, and I was like, "What I miss?"
Well,
Like,
I think
I
you
was
just learned that should be your alarm tone.
But like, I wasn't trying to fall asleep. I was just getting comfy. So I was like, "Well, let's see how this goes." So number 6, maybe, but like, I don't.
Dropping bombs.
I wasn't trying to. It's just like I can't get behind Priest's like run right now. It's like you said. You were saying, I am champion. Hold on. I fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems so. It's just. This is him right now.
It's not worked the way for him that I think they had planned for it to. And like I said, like maybe getting him with the Judgment Day, turning him face. This is all stuff that'll I think help in the long run for his character. I don't know. I feel like he's a more natural face than a heel, honestly. But we'll see. Hopefully, he can build back up here from what has been a sadly lackluster title run.
Do we think he might have had a better title run if Rhea didn't get hurt?
I think it would have changed some things for sure. I
Yeah.
feel like the story's definitely been augmented from what they had planned without her being here. And I think lot of the dynamic was that power struggle between them. And I think that power struggle helped to make him more interesting.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Like, I'm not picking a fight with him.
Yes, you are.
I am. No, it's not carrying.
Tyler, he wants to fight. I'm not gonna try.
I will fight the champion.
Tyler, fight Priest.
Tyler, it's like a Tarzan thing now. The way I'm just losing, articles of speech every. But
It's like every other week.
Why do many word when few word do trick?
When I president, they see.
Hear me roar.
But back in, I don't want to say backstage, but back at ringside, they had tracked down a VCR.
Oh, this is too much for me, this part, but let's do it.
And they digitized it. And we had our Wyatt 6 segment. And this was I'm trying to think of I don't want to.
It was heavy.
This was a masterfully done promo. Thank you, CD. It was incredibly heavy. It was very, very well done. And the second he asked him, "How have you been since the loss?" my thought was, they're not going to make this make it about Bray's death. And they did. And he flat out asked him, about your brother dying. It's, it's Bo being interviewed by Howdy. It's being interviewed by himself. And it was really well done. It was dark. It was disturbing. It was informative. And, so 2 weeks in a row, and I think they've had 2 home runs in a row with this. And again, as I said, it didn't cross too heavily into the realm of supernatural. There's logical explanations for everything done here. But guys, what did you think of the promo and what they're doing with the Wyatt sticks?
I think John might have already shared it. Narcolepsy, what the hell? I just saw that. I saw John put it in the actual comment of one of the banners a minute ago about the whole thing with the Wyatt, the promo. Sorry, I'm trying to say that I'm actually crying a little bit. If you can watch that promo, interview, segment, whatever you want to call it, and you kept a straight face and you didn't even shed one tear or any tears, and I don't know you. I sat through that, I had to cover my face for a bit because it was heavy. If you can watch that, and I don't care, there's camera trickery bullshit going on, but they did it in a way that was enough to get something out of you. So whoever like put that together, like seriously, like bravo. That's it.
Yeah, they did a tremendous job with this video. It's hard to imagine before this video for me how they were going to carry on the legacy of Bray Wyatt and everything that he wanted to do with this newest version of the character that we didn't really get to see. And this answered that question for me. Like, we see how personal it was to Bo Dallas. Same thing as we saw it, how personal it was for Bray when he came back. So this is, I think, the biggest linchpin for this new character.
If you look at that picture that John just had up a second ago, do you guys notice that the goatees are slightly different?
They did do a little bit of work there to differentiate a little bit. They almost made him look a little bit thicker as Howdy, as opposed to himself. And can we just also acknowledge here just how much like Bray Bo looks here?
Maybe for this video,
sounds, mannerisms.
Yeah.
Maybe for this interview, he purposely had someone else stand in.
It's possible.
But
I mean, they could have done split screen. You know, I saw someone online say that they thought that an issue the Wyatt Six might run into, they felt that Bo never got over because he didn't have the promo chops, which I think is just ludicrous anyway, because I think he was entertaining as hell, especially during like the Bo leave run. But he never really hit that stride, and you could say that that was in large part due to the Full Sail NXT crowd, which got some shit over that wouldn't get over in other places. But he was phenomenal here. And I mean, and a lot of what he's saying is obviously coming from a very real place. You know, and I don't know that, you know, I was, you know, grew up an only child, but like, you know, I have family members, you know, but if I had a brother, I don't know that I could have the gumption to go on television and do a segment where I'm being asked or asking myself, how did you feel when your brother died? Like that felt like that line coming out of Howdy's mouth, it felt like it actually just hit you when he said it. Like there was just an absolute thump in your chest, just like Caesar said, it's a heaviness. Your heart dropped down with that. It was just it almost made me angry. You know, it's so surprising. It's just, but it's again, this I can't speak highly enough about this segment.
I will say in regards to this segment, because on my end, there were times where I literally had to like pull off a headphone, like cover my face, all that kind of stuff. The closest I had was, not to get super deep, I had to, at my actual daytime job, I woke up one morning and my friend's like, hey, you're not going to believe this. Have you seen the news? And I'm like, what happened? And he said that one of our close friends from childhood actually had taken his life. So I had to, and he's like, no, you're kidding, right? He's like, no, dude. My friend who works with him at this job told me, and his boss also told me. And I'm like, that's the closest I've gotten to a brother, family member like that. But death is death, and it's, yeah. Heavy.
It was a very just, you know, startling and sobering segment. Very well done. And the
only thing I gotta ask is, like, how do they continue next week? Like, that was something.
I mean, I think, you know, there will probably be bits of violence sprinkled in with these things, because obviously the group has a physical presence in the arenas there now. But I do expect that a lot of, you know, the exposition for this is going to be done similar to how they did it tonight, through, you know, video drops, maybe even some more QR codes. But I liked the VHS aspect of this. There's a found footage element to it that I actually find creepy, and I dig it. I don't know who's producing these segments, you know, but they're putting a lot into it.
The one thing I will say, I don't know how you two feel about this, but next week, I mean, obviously, I'm never gonna get my opinions heard by the company, but maybe next week they go into like a hard, like a rough direction, like almost like everyone's like breaking stuff, destroying things. Since this week was very like tear jerking and emotional, next week it's like an enraged version of the family conduct. Like two of them just destroy stuff in the backstage and kill people, so to speak. Maybe.
I mean, like Bounce and I said, like, yeah, they'll have to sprinkle some of that violence in there.
Oh yeah,
Now,
sure.
Now, with this interview, they kind of explained Bo's reasons for, you know, entering into this iteration of the Wyatt family and coming back and you know, slinking into this darkness. In doing so, they've acknowledged that Bo is Howdy. And do you think that they will do that with the other members of the group? Are they going to acknowledge that, you know, Joe Gacy is under that mask, that Nikki Cross is under hers? Like, are they going to do these kind of almost like cross interviews with their masked egos? Is this going to be something we see, or is this going to be just kind of a one-off? There's a lot of directions to go here. And hey, you know, I don't want to piss off people asking, you know, what might happen with the storyline going forward or anything. God forbid we speculate and, you know,
on a
try to have a conversation about things, right? But that's my one swing at it tonight. Exactly. But like,
what about you, Steve? What do you think?
What do you think? Do you think they're going to acknowledge that it's these individuals under the masks and they're just like unhinged? Or
I would love to see that. Like, it really, when I looked at the carnage from last week, compared it to the video from this week, the first thing I thought of was the Fiend's hurt and heal gloves. And if they do want to go this route of making these profiles for each of the members, culminating in whoever the sixth member of the Wyatt Six is, then I think you have a great opportunity to tell these stories that don't necessarily have to result in matches yet. Like, you can really take your time and build up to it.
Agreed. But gentlemen, before we move on from a fantastic segment to a less fantastic segment, anything else on the VHS reveal tonight? The direction of the Wyatt Six.
Two things I completely forgot about, but you guys are going off for a second there. The one thing I was wondering about is, like, a lot of people were kind of suggesting that the sixth member is Wyatt in spirit, which wouldn't be a bad idea. It sounds cool. Secondly, could we see a return of the spiritual possession of a person? You know, like mind control from like the faction. Could that be a thing, you think?
I'm going to say, just from my perspective, I hope not.
Okay.
I've kind of stated a couple times that I'm cool with spooky stuff, but I need it still grounded in reality. You know, I think we're in a time frame where outright magic doesn't really work as well in a professional wrestling setting. And that's just my opinion. I'm sure there are people that absolutely love, you know, like what TNA was doing, you know, a year or so ago with, you know, like the other realm and like things like that. Like, people have done this. I mean, Chikara had a time travel angle. Like, companies have done some really wild things. Shit, you know, when I was a kid, you know, The Undertaker and Kane were throwing lightning bolts at each other.
Yeah, that was pretty
sweet.
I remember those.
But like, you know, so there's always been crazy stuff. But like, just where I'm at now personally, I like for there to be, you know, at least a attempt at a rational explanation. As I compared it, you know, on Facebook today, it's like an X-Files episode. You know, but at the end of an X-Files episode, you could choose to, like Mulder, believe in the supernatural and the fantastic and look at it through that lens. Or you also have the option to take Scully's explanation, the logic, the rationale. And, you know, no matter what, everyone had fun and everyone got to kind of make that choice. So I kind of hope they do that with it. Where it's like me looking at them like, oh, they can use camera tricks. Like, they could have had somebody in the truck help them out with these QR codes. Hell, for all I know, Joe Gacy's a master coder. I don't know. I don't know why Joe Gacy's the one I picked for that, but it's him. But like, yes, I I'm cool with like spooky shit, but like I don't want magic. I don't really want teleportation again. Weird black ooze just dripping from Alexa Bliss. Like, that's like almost Papa Shango level stuff, which scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the supernatural route is necessarily the way to go, especially when you have it so tied to someone who's no longer with us. I think that's an easy kind of pit to fall into if you get too close. And obviously, if this were still Vince McMahon at the helm, I think we'd already see like a Tupac-esque projection of Bray Wyatt incorporated in this. Or he probably wouldn't have let it get this far to begin with. He probably would have been like, no, this is weird. I don't get it. Turn it off. So I think the dark and spooky stuff is great. It really fits and it's working. But yeah, hopefully nothing supernatural ends up coming of this.
Yeah, if VKM was at the helm here, he either A, wouldn't have allowed the angle at all, or he'd be like, okay, we're going to call you Bo Wyatt. And it's just like, and that would have been the way they went with
Good
it.
shit.
It would have been fucking awful. There would have been a puppet of Bray. It'd just been fucking disgusting.
But Tyler, it's such good shit.
Pal.
I'm not your buddy, pal. But so moving from well done spooky things to incredibly poorly done spooky things. We had Kofi Kingston taking on Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross coming out to the filter from SmackDown vs. Raw 2008.
That wasn't
NWO
dark enough.
Entrance.
That wasn't dark enough.
This was terrible, and it just like John said this online too, but like it really like almost feels just like they're really just being mean to Karrion Kross at this point. It's like, hey, we sunk all this great production value into this really bad-ass, well done vignette, and you're gonna walk out to a Snapchat filter.
A shitty one too.
It was this shot that made me realize that's why they haven't debuted Dijak on the TV program yet, because he also has a black and white thing on his entrance, and production's like, well, we can't have two guys on Raw coming out to black and white.
Have two
Why not with bronze?
Yeah.
What the fuck is his finisher? What was this? What is going on here? Like,
I can't remember what Cole called it.
I don't even care what the name is, but what the fuck is he doing? Like a DDT? How did he?
It's stupid. It's Karrion Kross. The dude took 8 bumps this entire match.
It stinks.
Yeah, it's Karrion Kross, John. He fucking sucks.
People were mad at me for saying that
saying he's bad.
For saying that it was like a rib. Like, this must be a rib. Like, it's ridiculous. There's no way they didn't think that putting on the cool spooky thing and then putting on the shitty spooky thing right after was a good idea.
Like, this is the equivalent to being the cool down match after, like, a world title match in the middle of a pay-per-view in like 2012. Like, it wasn't good. I don't know why people be mad about that. First of all, Karrion Kross is not good. Like, that was the first time I got called a moron after, entering into this dirt sheet radio journey with everyone here, was because of an opinion on Karrion Kross. And he's just not good. He's not good on the mic. He doesn't have a good look. It's not unique in any way. He doesn't flipping bump.
So I just
got that's how many bumps he took tonight.
You guys, I just found a video really quickly of his what's it called? Final prayer. That's like the Madonna song. Yeah. I thought it was like a prayer. Anyways, it is like a prayer, yeah. I watched it. It just looks like a modified F5. That's all it looked like.
It's an FU to the fans that have to watch it.
It's a 5F is what they called it.
I had it written in my comments. Thank God for this commercial break mid-match, limiting the amount of time I had to spend watching a Karrion Kross match.
And for the commercial break, we thank you. But I should probably, be remiss if I didn't at least say exactly what happened here. Karrion Kross surprisingly wins the match due to the fact that part of going into this, they said that they would leave everyone in the back. And you just hear on the big screen Paul Ellering shouting in a slightly confused manner, Kofi, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Let me work it. And they show them back there beating the ever-loving hell out of Xavier Woods. And this distraction caused Kofi to eat a final prayer and take the loss.
I got that damn Madonna thing stuck in my head.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's where we're at now. But yeah, anything else on this match?
I'm glad it's over.
Awesome.
I connected the dots in my brain in order to picture Paul Ellering putting his thing down, flipping it, and you're never going to believe what he did next. He reversed it.
Hey guys, this is going to be like Karrion Kross.
Jesus Christ.
Stop.
Next week,
yeah,
like this, guys. Next week,
so that is that was the last match before the main event. Before the main event, they did air a quick highlight package of SmackDown of Jacob Fatu making his debut, which was pretty rad. Pretty cool to see. Very exciting to see what they're going to do with the Bloodline going forward there. The new Bloodline. Are they actually calling it the new Bloodline?
I don't know what to say about that faction anymore, honestly.
Were they not? What were they before Jacob Fatu got there?
Well, I think they were still the Bloodline. Like, they were touting
they were like the new
Bloodline. Well, and they were touting a segment on for SmackDown this week, talking about his Jacob Fatu's induction into the Bloodline, and then it ended with like a is there anyone who can stop Solo's rise? So I think we might see the start of the build to the Bloodline Civil War. It's at Madison Square Garden, so if you're gonna do it at the Garden.
It's gonna be a big show.
I hope so. I do.
I just.
It's a 6-man tag, but they made sure not to say who's in the match. Does that mean Jacob?
It's obviously Paul.
Going.
It's obviously Paul Heyman.
Rumor that he can't go to Canada. It looks like they've
already kind of.
That's what I've heard.
Loa. Like I look at it like the three competitors closest to the center of the screen, and then whoever's left is going to be ringside. So how do you hype up Tonga Loa as what? Like, I don't even remember what his new nickname is supposed to be, he's so forgettable.
Like, sucks, too.
That for the whole faction, to be honest.
No, he's a body. They just wanted a bunch of people in there.
If anything, Solo should be calling the shots on the side with Paul Heyman, because he needs to start developing into this leadership role that he's not doing so hot in. Like, they need to give him a chance to be the leader. Give these guys a chance for the WWE audience to learn what they're capable of in the ring. Let Solo be the leader. Let him antagonize Paul Heyman at ringside. And because we know how the result is going to go. So let's at least try and make one big push to get this new Bloodline over.
All right, now that I'm bored out of my mind.
Well, Mac's not hype about that being SmackDown's match on the PLE, but I will say, in defense of it, it leaves a lot of potential for Cody's future, as with his challengers. It could set up for Solo Sikoa challenging Cody. It could set up for something with Randy Orton challenging Cody. Don't you yawn at Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, goddammit.
No, I'm not. That's amazing. I'm not yawning at that.
But and they can even lean that way. They wouldn't even have to turn Randy necessarily to do something like that. It could just be, hey, we were legacy and all that. But from that perspective, I think this match is going to serve more like storyline purposes than much else. Because obviously Cody will have a marquee match at SummerSlam.
Okay.
I hope.
I got an actual sincere question or type thing. Mac has got a point actually. So let's break down this new thing they're doing, okay? Solo Sikoa, when was his last actual good singles match? Because I can't remember. Like he went on that long losing streak, and then he came back, and then he started doing the whole Umaga thing. Tama Tonga, when he debuted, nobody knew who he was. People in the crowd were like, "Who is he?" And then was it Tonga Loa when he debuted? He messed up. He got out under the ring, got screwed over, didn't pull the ref on time. Ref had to fake being pulled. And then you look at Jacob Fatu, and he can't leave the country. So everyone thinks like, and of course,
there are plenty of wrestlers that can't leave the country.
And then my favorite part is that they're comparing Solo Sikoa to the Weekend now, calling him the Weekday. Like, man,
baby, man, he's boss
street
baby.
Your street cred is dead.
As much as they want to set these guys up for success,
They're
they're
not gonna be able
literally
to.
trying to follow in the footsteps of Roman Reigns and the Usos. They were destined to fail from the start until you reintegrate the original bloodline back into this. Because until, like, they have given the new bloodline no reason to step out of, or no opportunity to step out of the original bloodline shadow. So until they actually make a positive change, ditch the bloodline name and just be your own thing. Even if you still want to have Paul Heyman with you, fine. That's entertaining in and of itself. I'll never say no to more Paul Heyman.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It still has to be for the good of these four guys. I remember CM Punk talking when he had walked out of WWE about having to put over part-timers like The Rock and Brock Lesnar, and his frustration with it was they go to work on Sunday. They don't go to work on Monday. It's you standing in your loss. The victor is nowhere to be seen, so you still have to make the most of it. But you don't get any of the glory for the work that you're putting in.
So I'll be the asshole on this topic when it comes to this whole situation. I pretty much Max got a point with this topic. I completely 100% agree that the bloodline iteration, whatever, needs to drop the bloodline name. They've been rehashing stuff for those guys since Roman Reigns' ripoff Shield theme and all that kind of crap. And when he comes out to the ring and he goes, "Acknowledge me," to kind of quote Mac, "I'm going to fall asleep again. I've never been a fan of Roman since I have no idea how long." And then you've got this whole new faction. I feel bad for them because they're actually talented wrestlers. And they've got freaking the goddamn Weekend as the leader. That's even stupider. Like, ditch him. Let Paul Heyman be the leader. Paul Heyman's a bigger threat. Like, if Paul Heyman walked in right now, I'd probably shit my pants in fear.
Mostly because you're like, how did you know where I live?
If Solo Sikoa walked in right now, I would look at him and say one thing: I can't feel my face when I'm with you. That's what I would do. Just saying. I can't take Solo seriously. I can't.
But before Caesar has a full-blown conniption fit here, we should
see it on our Patreon page.
We should probably
full unedited. We're live. How do you edit that?
John just sees me off the screen.
Just like Jim Ross said to Sid Vicious, back in WCW, "We're live, pal." Oh shit! There went Caesar.
Lost him completely.
We lost him. But we're going to move into our jobber of the night tonight. And folks, a jobber, it's a bad match. Maybe they stunk up the joint. And if the jobber is stinking up your joint, then you should head on over to mock.com. mock.com/DSR10 to get yourself 10% off some aromatherapy products. It's hot outside, guys. It's sweaty, but you can make your home smell like a lovely Italian villa or anything really. So you head over there, get yourself a discount and order that. But that will bring us into our jobbers of the night. And guys, Karrion Kross.
Damn it!
Karrion Kross. Are we all on Karrion Kross?
Can we do that tonight? Is that against the rules?
As soon as you said, like, it doesn't have to be a loser, like, of a match, it can be, like, a moment, or, yeah, like, I was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely picking Karrion Kross.
Let's just go the whole route, everyone Karrion. I'm sorry.
It was.
It was, you know, as we discussed, you know, it's just a bad show. It shows how weak and poorly put together the character and the gimmick is when it is directly juxtaposed with the Wyatt Six. You know, and I get that that's like comparing, you know, a Salisbury steak to, you know, a sirloin or something. Like, but like it's bad. Like it just, he's not good. And I'm not trying to be overly judgmental. Professional wrestling is hard. I couldn't be a pro wrestler. I'm not cut out for it. I have a really, really low pain tolerance. I tried it when I was 14 at a training camp, tore my Achilles tendon. Was not built for it. But you know what? Neither is Karrion fucking Kross. Like, he's not. There are building blocks you need to be a successful professional wrestler, and he's tall. He's got nice hair.
Louder, Adam Cole.
all I can say is this: his character's boring. He doesn't own a shirt. He has a hot wife. And he has two big dudes who don't speak English that walk around with him. And he
doesn't own a shirt.
He has Rob Halford from Judas Priest beside him all the time. And his finisher looks like some kid smashing the controller when he's playing a wrestling game, going, "Watch this, guys!" And he's just smashing it, going, "I pushed that button and made that move." That's him.
Special meter.
Dude, how'd you win that fight?
Like, it's unfortunate that literally everyone else in this stable is, at least we can say something positive about them, and we can't do the same for Karrion Kross.
That's it.
No, you're absolutely right, CJ. Like, Authors of Pain definitely have their place as a tag team.
They're
big, they're scary. Paul Ellering is a legend in the business as a manager. I do joke. I think sometimes he does legitimately look a little bit like confused about where he's at the moment. Maybe what year it is. He probably does think, he's like, wait a minute, where's Macho Man? That's not Miss Elizabeth. Why won't that guy who won't wear a shirt take any bumps? Karrion Kross is going to fucking kill me if I ever meet him.
Well, that implies that he watches us too.
You want something really funny?
I always do.
What's that?
So it's about our boy Chad Gable. Someone's like, nothing heals a gunshot wound like 5 skin closure strips.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Like, how was he so worse for wear yesterday or last week, and then all of a sudden he's just got like a couple stitches? What? No.
Yeah. So
I guess he wasn't shot then, right?
What if he was stabbed with like a circular object?
Then they would have been sponsored by Domino's.
Woo! Listen, Jericho.
All right, and from that, we're going to transition into our mega stars of the night.
I'm not doing the horn.
Do it.
CJ, you wouldn't even give that nice person that liked and subscribed a shucky ducky quack quack a couple weeks ago. So I'm not sure you won't do the horn.
No.
CJ does not come with sound effects. You have to supply your own sound effects with CJ.
You want sound effects with CJ?
You know what, CJ? You don't have sound effects. You don't have sound effects, but I bet you have a mega star of the night.
I sure do. And my megastar tonight, I don't know how well this is going to be received. But
everyone listen.
Everyone
listen. Yeah.
I got to go with Liv Morgan.
Simp.
She is easily one of the most, she's part of one of the most intriguing stories on the show right now.
We know the meme now.
And I mean, like, when you get down to the story that they're telling and when Rhea is ready to come back, this is absolutely going to exceed the stratosphere. So I think the story that they're telling right now with the Judgment Day is very like it's exactly the kind of story that Liv Morgan benefits the most from. She is going to elevate that title and be able to carry this until Rhea comes back. So Megastar of the Night material for sure.
Oh,
Right on.
the best was that if you actually that picture at the top, put when CJ mentions her name on DSR.
She's very excited. She's very excited that we are the Dirty D that she spoke of. It's the dirty,
She's chasing the Dirty Sheet Radio.
That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing.
No, please, no.
She can't chase us?
I don't want to be Dirty D. That's disgusting.
You know. Oh Jesus. All
Dirty
right,
Sheet Radio.
Dirty Sheet Radio. All right. So I'll take the next one here. So I had to think about it a little bit. Had a couple ideas in mind, but this evening I went with Lyra Valkyria. I feel like she's really starting to get traction with the main roster, which is great because I think she's a phenomenal talent. I wouldn't hate to see her win Money in the Bank, honestly. I think she's got a really bright future ahead of her. She's got great in-ring skills. She's good on the mic, you know, and she's young. She's got a long career ahead of her as well. And she looked good in the match. She looks good every week. She looks good continually. And like I said, right woman won. And Lyra Valkyria, whoo, my megastar of the night. Whoo.
Okay, this is again. You guys know I'm the guy who likes to be a two-parter, but this is for an actual reason. So, part one, easy part, is Zelina Vega. Like, she turned up tonight, and that was awesome to see. Like, every time she started talking, I was just like, okay, where's she going? And I actually sat there and actually paid attention. Whether it was, the sloppy seconds chance or just telling Liv to actually pay attention to the women's division instead of like chasing around dudes. So that's my actual one, but I think the whole group here can agree that segment, the segment of the night, is I say megastar almost, is the one of the interview.
Yeah,
you can't really like other than everybody else in the company, but that segment, no one had a dry eye. I don't care who you were.
Oh.
If you didn't, there better be a damn good reason why you didn't.
Because I don't have emotions.
Oh yeah, you're also an East Coaster. I'm just kidding.
What? God, is there bad blood between the East and West Coast?
I'm being random. No, but
I'm literally right in the middle of the country. No coast.
See?
Around me
He is
at
on the
all.
East. He's not on this side.
I mean, I'm
damn.
on the West Coast right now, but
Yeah.
that's
you
neither
guys have a
here nor
window?
there.
I'm just kidding.
Are you guys?
No,
are you
like,
Oh
guys
shit!
hearing each other
Is
now?
that you? Oh shit! That's Howdy.
Oh God!
But seriously,
Lyra Valkyria just perched out the window.
shit, I'll be right back.
God damn it!
If she's
All
outside
right.
my window, I'm going to find her. But no, seriously,
I just set up a bird feeder outside my window, and Lyra Valkyrie
No
is
tempt
just like picking at it.
I have a discount at a certain place in Canada that actually sells that stuff.
Bird
So, Canadian Tire. So, but no,
I'm
like
gonna have to believe you that that's a real place, and you're not just screwing with me.
it's a real
That is
place.
100% a real place.
Yeah, it's an actual place. We told you these things off stream about. Do we have to send you? Do I have to send you a Canada guidebook?
When I'm in the sixes, going to Timmy's, I always.
Wait, hold on. What's your order at Tim Hortons? Choose your words wisely. Let's hear this.
Oh God.
No. Shh. Let's hear this.
We need this.
Timbits and an ice cap. I don't really go to Tim Hortons.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Okay.
Like what Timbits though?
Yeah.
Oh well, now if
Specifically, how many?
If I'm
How
not,
many?
well, more than I'm willing to say on air.
No.
And
You cheap whore, say it.
Okay, where I'm at now, I'd probably grab the 20. If it was 10 years ago and my metabolism was higher, it would have been the 40. But
20's good.
if I'm not getting the mix, I would go straight blueberry. Love the blueberries.
What the hell are blueberries?
Blueberry Timbit? You've never had you guys don't have the blueberry flavored Timbits up there?
Well, I mean, like, we have some Timbits just based on our regular donuts, but I don't think blueberry's one of them.
Oh, wow.
Unless that was
Yeah,
like a
like I was
special.
trying to rack my brain. Like, yeah, it might have been like a special edition thing, but
Hold on,
That's a normal flavor here. God bless America. You know what? I'm gonna have to hit Tim Hortons tomorrow and have Timbits on the stream tomorrow just to show off the blueberry Timbits. They're so good. God, that's
you know
awesome.
what? You know what? Shout out to Robbins, and there's a former, well, not former. They're just very much not as prominent in Canada as they used to be, but they were very similar to Tim Hortons, and they had Timbits. Their version of Timbits were called Robbins eggs.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
They might have had a blueberry.
Wait, question, Tyler.
Yeah.
Tell us how you'd order your coffee at Tim Hortons. I want to see if you say it the American way or the Canadian way.
I've actually never ordered actual coffee from Tim Hortons. I didn't start drinking. God, this is the most interesting thing in the world for our listeners to be hearing. But
this is racist, is what it is. These Canadians are attacking you and judging you for not ordering the Tim Hortons the way you didn't even realize it.
He's judging. He's judging. I have basically brought in another coffee shop to the conversation.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I didn't start drinking coffee until the last probably couple years. So like I've really just made it here for the
I'm scared of coffee. It gives you headaches if you don't drink it. What the fuck is that?
I was always more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker.
But that's horrifying. I'm scared. I don't like headaches. What? That's like a guaranteed thing. That's like a guaranteed thing, right?
Yeah,
it's like people with lactose intolerance that still go get ice cream.
That's scary as hell. I got enough bad habits. Pokemon cards are more fucked up than coffee, probably.
Probably, I don't know. But hey, we'll transitioning back from coffee, a couple shopkeeping things before we head out for the night. I would like to remind you folks that, hey, we're not here just on Monday nights recapping Raw every single week for you fine folks out there. We are also here on Tuesday nights recapping NXT, Wednesday nights after AEW Dynamite, Thursday nights after TNA Impact, and Friday nights after SmackDown. And of course, there is the Dirt Sheet Radio flagship podcast, which you can find on Delphin Pod if you're looking to find just a listenable place for it as well. Coming to you late night every week. So always check that out. Fresh Thursday mornings. Sundays, the 3NP podcast rolls out. And then also starting Sundays, as CJ said earlier tonight, CJ and Tyler's NXT Level Up Adventure. Really looking forward to that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because, like I said, CJ and I, we love NXT, and we can't get enough NXT, so we're putting more NXT into this. It's like Pimp My Ride, yo, dog, heard you love NXT. But so looking forward to that. But yeah, and head up our DSR Shopify store for some fun items and cool stuff there. Always up there. But I feel like am I missing anything, guys? It's late here. It's 1:30.
I can't think of anything
1:30.
particular. Major issues. There you go.
The Major Issues podcast right now. And John, what's the topic this week? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't have a clue, but it will be a good show, I'm sure.
Because you guys just did Identity Crisis recently,
we did do Identity Crisis,
which I was shocked to find that apparently there were people that didn't like that story when it came out.
A lot of people. I was not one of them.
But yeah, that was great.
You could, if you haven't already, if you wanted a wrestling related tie-in, you could do that Guardians of the Galaxy that CM Punk did.
Oh.
No.
The wheels were turning. Your camera wasn't on, but I know you were thinking about it.
I could hear his facial expression. That was amazing. But folks, before we pop out of here tonight, we're going to go around the table. CJ, my good sir, tell the folks where they can find you next and where they can find you in general. But not literally like the actual location.
Yeah, like I'm not giving away my address or anything. I'm not even at home. I'm in.
So his address is
from parts unknown. So yeah, you just because I'm not giving out my address doesn't mean you guys can either. You don't even know my. Anyways, 562. No, just kidding. I am here every Monday, hopefully over the summer. Every Tuesday recapping NXT. Every Friday recapping SmackDown. Every Sunday recapping Level Up Adventure. Well, it's our Level Up Adventure recapping NXT Level Up. And on Twitter at CJCarter22.
Caesar, sir.
As always, you guys can catch me sitting down with these two gentlemen, and John is always on the Monday podcast, and of course, I'm always on the Wednesday Dynamite podcast. And if all things go properly and you guys are down, I will see you guys at the pay-per-view Forbidden Door showing podcasting. Sorry, I'm tired too, but I've had like 9 different cups of coffee, which is the odd part. Yeah, that's my exact location.
Set your heart to hummingbird, sir. Set it to hummingbird.
Jeff.
But I, as always, am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster, and you can find me here Monday nights breaking down Raw with these fine folks, and on Tuesday nights breaking down NXT with CJ. And Malik is back as well. I think we have him back tomorrow night. I think he's back permanently, so it's awesome to have him back on the show. Perma back. And coming up this weekend, starting the NXT Level Up adventure with CJ. Really looking forward to that. And I always ask if you can, after you go follow Dirt Sheet Radio, if you haven't already done that, if you want to pop over and follow the Pro Wrestling Hipster on Facebook, I'd always appreciate that. I do a lot of memes and stuff over there, guys. It's fun. And hey, sometimes I write, short articles that upset people unnecessarily.
Imagine
who didn't read anything past the first 2 sentences. Clearly,
highlight posts that get out of date like 2 minutes after you post them.
Yeah. You'll also see me often post a Raw preview and then have to edit it 4 times as Triple H keeps adding fucking matches after I waited until 3:00 Eastern to even post it to begin with. Banana notes.
This is why I brought it up. This was the reaction I wanted. Thank you, Tyler.
It's late. You just had to get the heart rate going again, right?
Oh, yeah.
But we'll be back tomorrow night on this. But hey, everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.